stepping into a higher realm of consciousness. The awakening of the right brain is not merely an intellectual endeavor. It is a profound transformation that reshapes the very way we perceive reality. While the previous exploration of right brain activation has introduced us to the essential functions of intuition, creativity, and higher consciousness, this next phase will take us further. We are now venturing into the realm of superconscious awareness, where the right brain becomes a gateway to expanded perception, multidimensional understanding, and ultimate self-realization. This journey is not just about accessing deeper creativity or tapping into an innate sense of intuition. It is about fundamentally altering how we experience existence, about learning to navigate reality in ways that transcend linear thought and limited perception. To do this, we must synchronize the brain with higher vibrational frequencies, unlock dormant abilities, and integrate a new way of perceiving the world. In this next phase of right brain awakening, we will explore how to align the right brain with universal consciousness, the different levels of superconscious states and how to attain them, scientific discoveries that validate the ancient knowledge of right brain activation, the role of the right brain in achieving telepathic insight, intuitive foresight, and heightened perception, powerful techniques to fully activate the right hemisphere and step into higher cognitive evolution. As we embark on this path, we must remember that the journey of consciousness is not about acquiring knowledge but about direct experience. The right brain does not operate through memorization or logic. It understands reality as an interconnected whole, beyond time and space. The question is, are you ready to transcend old paradigms and step into a more expansive way of being? If so, let's begin. The right brain is a gateway to superconscious awareness. Most people have spent their lives confined within the narrow corridors of left brain thinking, where logic, structure, and sequential analysis dominate their perception of reality. They are taught that the world is a mechanical system, that knowledge must be accumulated piece by piece, and that intuition is unreliable. But those who have awakened to the true potential of the right brain understand that reality is far more fluid, interconnected, and multidimensional than traditional thought allows. Imagine a vast ocean. The left brain sees only the surface, waves, ripples, and disturbances caused by the wind. But the right brain dives deep beneath the waves, perceiving the undercurrents, the vast ecosystem thriving in hidden realms, and the interconnected dance of life that goes unseen by the naked eye. This is how reality truly operates, not as a collection of isolated events but as a seamless, unified field of consciousness. Ancient spiritual traditions have long recognized this truth. The Hindu concept of Brahman, the Taoist principle of Wu Wei, and the Buddhist teaching of sunyata, emptiness, all describe a state of being where the mind is no longer bound by duality. In this state, one does not merely think about existence but directly experiences it, not through words, but through an immediate and intimate knowing. This is the power of the fully awakened right brain. It allows us to access what mystics have called higher dimensions of awareness, where time is no longer linear, where insights come in flashes of understanding rather than through logical deduction, and where the boundaries between self and the universe dissolve. But how does one reach this state? How does a person accustomed to analytical, left brain thinking transition into a more expansive mode of perception? The answer lies in frequency, practice, and surrender. The expansion of superconscious awareness, a path beyond thought. To understand the depth of right brain activation, we must go beyond the conventional understanding of intelligence. It is not simply about thinking differently, it is about thinking beyond thought. The right brain does not function through calculation or rationalization, it perceives directly, without the need for words or explanations. This is why many who have reached higher states of consciousness describe their insights as a knowing beyond logic. When a musician composes an extraordinary symphony, they do not sit and analyze each note mathematically. Instead, they feel the music flow through them as if they are a vessel for something greater. Similarly, an artist painting a masterpiece does not think about each brushstroke, they simply express what they perceive intuitively. These are glimpses of what happens when the right brain is fully activated. Many people unknowingly tap into this state during moments of deep inspiration or flow. But to consciously enter this realm requires dedicated practice and a shift in perspective. The left brain operates in a sequential, structured manner. always seeking to categorize and define. The right brain, however, thrives in a nonlinear, abstract, and holistic state. It sees connections between things that the left brain cannot comprehend. This is why mystics, visionaries, and deeply intuitive individuals often seem to know things without being able to explain how. So how can we transition from a left brain-dominated way of thinking to fully accessing the wisdom of the right brain? The key lies in dissolving the boundaries between self and the universe. When we stop seeing ourselves as separate from the world around us, our perception shifts dramatically. The right brain does not recognize the barriers that the left brain constructs. It does not see me and you as separate entities, rather, it perceives oneness, an interconnected, infinite field of consciousness. This is why those who meditate deeply often report experiencing a sense of unity with all existence. To fully awaken the right brain, we must learn to embrace this interconnected reality. Practices such as deep meditation, creative visualization, and sensory immersion help dissolve the illusion of separateness and allow us to access a higher state of perception. The more we engage in these practices, the more our brain rewires itself to function in a way that aligns with superconscious awareness. It is in this state that telepathic insight, intuitive foresight, and heightened perception become possible. The right brain, when fully activated, is not limited by time or space. It can retrieve information from the quantum field, anticipate future events, and recognize patterns that the left brain would never detect. This is why many spiritual traditions emphasize seeing beyond the illusion, because reality, as we perceive it through the left brain, is only a fragment of what truly exists. The shift from logical analysis to direct knowing is not something that happens overnight. It requires trust, surrender, and an openness to experience reality in a new way. But once this shift begins, a person can no longer see the world in the same way. They start noticing synchronicities, understanding things without needing explanations, and feeling deeply connected to something greater than themselves. This is the next level of awakening. It is a transition from merely believing in a higher consciousness to experiencing it directly. It is the realization that knowledge is not something to be acquired, it is something that is already within us, waiting to be remembered. The quantum connection. How the right brain taps into the infinite field of consciousness. As we go deeper into the potential of the right brain, we begin to see that its capabilities go far beyond what conventional science has traditionally recognized. The right hemisphere does not just process creativity and intuition, it serves as a bridge to a higher intelligence. One that exists beyond the confines of time, space, and physical reality. This is why so many ancient traditions have linked heightened states of awareness with a deep, internal knowing, rather than external learning. Many modern scientists now theorize that the brain acts more like a receiver than a generator of consciousness. Instead of creating thoughts and awareness, the brain may be tuning in to a vast, interconnected field of intelligence, much like a radio picking up signals from different frequencies. And the right brain, with its holistic, nonlinear way of processing information, appears to be the key to unlocking this hidden stream of knowledge. Why the right brain is the key to superconscious access. The left hemisphere operates within the boundaries of logic, rationality, and sequential thought. It builds knowledge piece by piece, constructing reality step by step. But the right brain sees everything all at once, functioning in a state of simultaneity rather than sequence. This is why deep meditative states often feel like instant downloads of knowledge. The right brain does not need to analyze information to understand it. It absorbs entire fields of data instantly. Mystics, artists, and great thinkers throughout history have described moments of sudden inspiration, where they felt as if knowledge was simply being received rather than discovered. Nikola Tesla, one of the greatest inventors of all time, claimed that many of his ideas appeared fully formed in his mind, as though they had been transmitted from another dimension. Similarly, Leonardo da Vinci often spoke of experiencing visions that revealed deep insights into the workings of nature. What these individuals shared was a deeply activated right brain, allowing them to tap into a wellspring of universal intelligence that most people remain unaware of. But what does this mean for us? How can we begin to access this level of understanding in a conscious and controlled way? The key lies in learning to let go of the constant need for logical validation and instead trust the deeper intelligence of our intuition. Shifting perception. Moving beyond the illusion of separation. To fully awaken the right brain, we must break free from the illusion of separateness. The left brain thrives on distinctions. It defines, categorizes, and labels everything it encounters. While this is useful for navigating the material world, it creates the false impression that everything is fragmented. But the right brain sees beyond this illusion. It perceives the interconnected nature of all things, where boundaries are fluid and reality is not divided into isolated components. When the right brain is activated, we begin to experience life as a single, continuous flow, rather than a collection of separate moments. This is why those who practice deep meditation often describe feeling as though they have merged with the universe, losing the sense of a distinct self. This is not merely a poetic or mystical experience, it is a shift in neurological processing. When the left brain's dominance is reduced, and the right brain takes control, our perception fundamentally changes. Ancient wisdom traditions have long understood this. In many Eastern philosophies, the concept of non-duality, Advaita in Hinduism, Zen in Buddhism, and Wuji in Taoism, describes the experience of realizing that the self is not separate from the cosmos. This is not an abstract theory but a direct, visceral knowing, an understanding that transcends words. The implications of this are profound. When we stop seeing ourselves as isolated beings struggling to survive in a chaotic world, and instead recognize that we are part of an intelligent, self-organizing system, fear, anxiety, and doubt begin to dissolve. We start to move with the flow of existence rather than against it. This is what many spiritual teachers mean when they speak of surrender. It is not about giving up, but about aligning with a deeper intelligence that already knows the way forward. Practical techniques to access the right brain's infinite potential. 1. Extended periods of silence. The left brain is constantly engaged in verbal thinking, labeling, and categorizing. Spending time in complete silence reduces its activity and allows the right brain to process reality in a more direct way. Try spending an hour or more each day without speaking or engaging with language-based activities. Instead, focus on observing, feeling, and experiencing. 2. Creative expression without judgment. The right brain thrives in creative flow states, but only when there is no pressure to perform or critique. Engage in activities like painting, playing music, or free writing without any concern for the outcome. Let the process guide you, rather than the analytical mind. 3. Altered states of consciousness. Practices such as deep meditation, sensory deprivation, breathwork, and even certain sound frequencies, like binaural beats and isochronic tones, can shift the brain into a more right-dominant state, allowing for deeper perception and access to intuitive insights. 4. Immersive nature experiences. The natural world is inherently right-brained. Spending time in untouched wilderness, observing patterns in the clouds, listening to the rhythm of ocean waves, all of these activities synchronize the brain with natural intelligence, allowing for heightened awareness and deeper integration of right brain perception. 5. Nonlinear thinking exercises. Challenge yourself to break free from habitual ways of analyzing problems. Instead of looking for a solution step by step, try visualizing the end result first and working backward, allowing intuition to fill in the gaps. This is how many inventors and creatives describe their most profound breakthroughs. Stepping into the next evolution of human intelligence. The future of human consciousness will not be dictated by artificial intelligence, machine learning, or technological advancements alone. While these innovations are powerful, they represent an extension of left brain logic rather than a true evolution of intelligence. The next great leap forward will come not from faster processing power, but from a shift in perception itself. The most significant discoveries of the next era will not be found in laboratories or research centers. They will be uncovered within the depths of human consciousness. The right brain holds the key to a new form of intelligence, one that operates beyond linear progression, beyond duality, and beyond the limits of time. We are standing at the edge of a revolution in human awareness. The question is, are you ready to take the leap? Activating the right brain. Methods for unlocking higher perception. The theoretical understanding of right brain activation is only valuable if it leads to direct experience. Knowledge is a tool, but it is through practice that transformation occurs. Now, we dive into the essential techniques that allow the right hemisphere to fully awaken, enabling profound shifts in perception, cognition, and connection with the higher realms of consciousness, breaking free from the grip of the left brain. Before activating the right brain, we must first recognize the conditioning that has kept us locked into left brain dominance. Our society trains us to rely almost exclusively on logic, structure, and external validation, reinforcing the idea that intuition and nonlinear thinking are unreliable. Breaking free from this mental programming requires intentional practice and a shift in awareness. One of the first steps in right brain activation is detaching from habitual patterns of analysis. Instead of approaching life as a series of problems that need solving, we must learn to flow with reality, allowing insights to arise naturally rather than forcing conclusions. This means embracing uncertainty and openness, trusting that the answers will come when the mind is receptive, rather than actively searching for them. The role of meditation in right brain activation. Meditation is one of the most powerful methods for reducing left brain dominance and allowing the right hemisphere to function without interference. Certain meditation techniques are particularly effective in facilitating this transition. 1. Tritaka, gazing meditation, staring at a single point, such as a candle flame or symbol, helps quiet the verbal mind and increase focus on intuitive perception. 2. Theta state meditation, guided meditations that use binaural beats at theta frequencies, 4 to 8 Hz, help the brain transition into states associated with creativity, intuition, and subconscious access. 3. Third eye activation, placing attention on the space between the eyebrows and visualizing an expanding light stimulates the pineal gland, which is closely linked to right brain activation. 4. Sensory deprivation. Floating in a sensory deprivation tank or meditating in total darkness reduces external distractions, allowing the mind to shift into a deeply receptive state. 5. Mindful observation of patterns, instead of analyzing objects. Simply observe their shape, movement, and energy. This exercise strengthens holistic perception, a key function of the right brain. By practicing these techniques consistently, the mind gradually shifts from habitual thinking to intuitive awareness, opening the gateway to expanded perception. The power of visualization and imagination. The right brain thrives in the world of symbols, images, and abstract concepts. To fully activate its potential, we must learn to engage in exercises that stimulate this unique mode of thinking. Mental imagery training. Close your eyes and visualize a detailed landscape. Focus on the colors, sounds, and sensations. The more vividly you can construct the scene, the more active your right hemisphere becomes. Lucid dreaming practices. Training yourself to recognize when you are dreaming strengthens nonlinear thinking and increases awareness of subconscious perception. Symbol interpretation. Instead of looking at symbols as mere representations, try to feel their essence. This method, used in mystical traditions, allows direct connection with archetypal wisdom. Creating without purpose. Engage in painting, music, dance, or poetry without aiming for an outcome. Let creativity emerge spontaneously, without judgment or rationalization. Synchronizing with nature, the ultimate right brain activation tool. The natural world operates on harmonic patterns and rhythms that the right brain is naturally attuned to. Spending time in untouched nature realigns consciousness with these primal frequencies, strengthening intuitive perception. Observing fractals in nature, the right brain understands reality as an interconnected fractal system. Observing tree branches, ocean waves, or cloud formations helps the mind recognize natural harmony. Walking meditation. Moving in nature while maintaining silent awareness induces an altered state of consciousness, where the left brain quiets and the right brain becomes dominant. Listening to the sound of silence, beyond external noises. There exists a subtle frequency of stillness. Focusing on this background silence enhances extrasensory perception, altering brainwave states to access higher awareness. One of the most effective ways to awaken the right brain is to shift into higher vibrational states of consciousness. This can be achieved through binaural beats and isochronic tones. Specific sound frequencies can guide the brain into states of enhanced perception. 528 Hz and 963 Hz are associated with higher consciousness and right brain activation. Breathwork practices, deep, rhythmic breathing, such as the Wim Hof method or holotropic breathwork, induces altered states where the right hemisphere becomes more dominant. Mantra chanting, vibrational resonance from ancient mantras activates nonlinear intelligence. The repetition of Om, for example, has been shown to increase activity in the right temporal lobe, associated with spiritual awareness. The shift from thinking to knowing. The goal of right brain activation is not merely to become more creative or intuitive, but to shift from intellectual understanding to direct knowing. This is the difference between reading about an experience and living it fully. Many people rely solely on rational deduction, believing that knowledge must be accumulated step by step. But those who function at higher levels of awareness describe moments of instant realization, a phenomenon often referred to as gnosis, or direct insight. This state is where higher intelligence communicates effortlessly, and the individual no longer seeks truth externally but recognizes it from within. Final thoughts. The journey of awakening is personal. Each individual's path to activating the right brain is unique. While the techniques outlined here serve as powerful tools, true transformation comes from consistent practice and inner exploration. The right brain is not an abstract concept, it is a portal to higher consciousness, a key to unlocking the mysteries of existence. And once it is fully awakened, reality itself is seen in an entirely new light. Are you ready to leave behind outdated modes of thinking and embrace a new way of experiencing life? The next level of awakening awaits. Harnessing the power of the right brain for transformation. The true potential of the right brain is not just about enhanced creativity or intuitive insights. It is about a fundamental shift in perception that changes the way we engage with life. When this hemisphere is fully activated, individuals experience a heightened sense of clarity, a deep connection to the present moment, and an ability to see beyond the surface of reality. This is where transformation occurs, not just at the level of thought, but at the level of being, living in a state of flow. One of the greatest benefits of right brain activation is the ability to access flow states, moments where everything aligns perfectly, where creativity, focus, and effortless action merge into one. Athletes, artists, and spiritual practitioners all describe these states as moments when the mind is no longer interfering, and reality unfolds organically, without resistance. Flow is the natural state of the right hemisphere. Unlike the left brain, which constantly tries to predict, analyze, and control outcomes, the right brain thrives in the now. It responds to the present moment, rather than being trapped in the regrets of the past or anxieties about the future. This is why practices that bring deep presence, such as meditation, movement, and deep listening, help amplify right brain function, awakening the dormant senses. The right brain is closely linked to heightened sensory perception. When fully activated, people often report experiencing enhanced vision and color perception. The world appears more vivid, more alive, a stronger sense of intuition, knowing things before they happen, or sensing energetic shifts in people and environments. Heightened emotional intelligence, understanding the feelings of others without the need for words. Synesthesia-like experiences, hearing colors, seeing sounds, or experiencing multiple senses merging into one. These shifts are not just abstract ideas, they are neurological changes that occur when the right hemisphere becomes dominant. Studies have shown that individuals who meditate or engage in deep creative work experience increased activity in the right temporal and occipital lobes, leading to expanded awareness and multisensory integration. Accessing universal intelligence through right brain activation. Many visionaries, mystics, and philosophers throughout history have spoken about receiving direct knowledge, ideas and insights that seem to emerge from beyond their personal mind. This phenomenon is commonly described as tapping into universal consciousness. The right brain does not just think, it receives. It functions as an antenna, picking up subtle frequencies from the larger field of existence. This explains why many breakthroughs in science, art, and philosophy come suddenly, in flashes of insight, rather than through a slow, logical process. Ways to strengthen this ability. Journaling without editing, writing thoughts freely, without structure, allows the right brain to express its wisdom without interference from the left brain's need for order. Deep stillness practices, sitting in absolute stillness, doing nothing, allows the brain to tune into deeper frequencies of awareness. Dream recall and interpretation. The right brain communicates through symbols and dreams. Keeping a dream journal and analyzing recurring images can reveal hidden messages from the subconscious. Energy alignment techniques, practices such as Reiki, Qigong, and Pranayama activate the body's energy centers, which are closely linked to right brain function. The merging of thought and intuition. A fully awakened right brain does not reject logic, rather, it integrates it into a holistic mode of understanding. This is where true genius emerges, not from mere intellect, but from a fusion of deep thinking and intuitive insight. In ancient traditions, this was known as the balance between the sun and the moon. The yin and the yang, the harmonization of the left and right hemispheres. When this occurs, the mind no longer struggles against itself. Instead of choosing between logic and intuition, individuals begin to experience reality in a unified way. The future of human evolution, right brain consciousness. The next stage of human evolution is not just technological, it is cognitive and spiritual. As we move forward, we will see a global shift towards right brain consciousness, where intuition, holistic perception, and deep wisdom become the norm rather than the exception. This transition is already happening. The rise of mindfulness, the resurgence of ancient spiritual traditions, and the increasing awareness of quantum consciousness all point to a collective awakening. More people are beginning to question rigid structures of thought and embrace a more fluid, interconnected way of seeing the world. For those who wish to lead this new era of consciousness, the key lies in deepening their connection to the right hemisphere, the ability to perceive beyond the physical, to understand the patterns of existence, and to harmonize with the natural flow of life. This is where the future of human intelligence lies. Final reflection. The right brain is a portal to a new reality. This is not just about developing a skill or improving a cognitive function, it is about stepping into a new way of being. The right brain holds the key to a higher state of awareness, a deeper connection to existence, and a profound sense of purpose. The question is, are you ready to embrace this transformation? Embracing the future. Right brain intelligence as the new paradigm. As we reach the final stage of our exploration, it becomes clear that the awakening of the right brain is not just a personal transformation, it is a fundamental shift in human consciousness. We are entering an era where the rigid, linear thinking that has dominated civilization for centuries is being replaced by a more holistic, interconnected, and intuitive mode of perception. This shift is not merely an abstract concept, it is happening right now. All around us, the resurgence of mindfulness, the growing interest in altered states of awareness, and the increasing recognition of quantum consciousness all point to one undeniable truth. The future of intelligence is not just artificial, it is deeply spiritual and intuitive. The death of linear thinking and the birth of a new consciousness. For too long, society has been structured around left brain dominance, where logic, hierarchy, and rigid systems dictate our lives. But as we evolve, we begin to realize that reality is not a straight line. Life is cyclical, dynamic, and fluid. The right brain understands this inherently. It does not seek rigid control but rather aligns with the organic flow of existence. Imagine a world where decision-making is not dictated solely by rational calculations but by deep intuitive knowing. A world where education does not suppress creativity but enhances it. A world where technology is not a crutch for human intelligence but a tool that amplifies natural wisdom. This is the new paradigm of human evolution. The integration of science and spirituality, a right brain revolution. One of the most exciting aspects of right brain awakening is the way it bridges the gap between science and spirituality. In the past, these two domains were often seen as separate, science dealing with hard facts, and spirituality dealing with abstract experiences. But as quantum physics, neuroscience, and consciousness studies continue to advance, we are seeing an undeniable convergence. The realization that the observer influences reality, that thoughts have measurable frequencies, and that intuition is more than just a feeling all point toward a greater truth. Our perception shapes our reality. As more individuals awaken to the potential of their right brain, we will see a global shift in how we understand existence. The knowledge once reserved for mystics, sages, and spiritual masters is now being validated by empirical research. This means that tapping into higher states of awareness is not just a philosophical ideal. It is a practical tool for navigating the complexities of modern life. Right brain leadership. A new way of creating the future. The next generation of leaders, whether in business, education, science, or governance, will not be those who rely solely on logic and data. Instead, they will be individuals who can see the big picture, who can sense the deeper currents of change before they happen. This is why intuitive intelligence is becoming the most valuable skill of the 21st century. Think of the most influential figures in history: Leonardo da Vinci, Nikola Tesla, Steve Jobs. What set them apart was not just their intellect but their ability to see what others could not see. They trusted their vision, they tapped into a source of knowledge beyond conventional reasoning, and they allowed intuition to guide them toward breakthroughs that changed the world. If we want to thrive in this new era, we must learn to do the same. We must embrace a new way of thinking, one that is not bound by limitations but empowered by infinite possibility. Practical steps to sustain right brain awakening in daily life. 1. Deep listening to the universe. Spend time in silence every day. Not just to quiet the mind but to listen to the subtle whispers of intuition. 2. Trust first. Analyze later. When faced with an important decision, instead of overanalyzing, ask yourself, how does this feel? What is my first instinct? 3. Align with natural rhythms. The right brain is deeply connected to nature's cycles. Observe the flow of seasons, the movement of the stars, and align your actions with these greater patterns. 4. Cultivate fluid thinking. Challenge yourself to think outside the framework of logic. Explore ideas that may not seem rational at first, and see where they lead you. 5. Engage in nonlinear learning. Absorb knowledge through experiences rather than just structured education. Travel. Immerse yourself in art, and expose yourself to new environments that stimulate different parts of your brain. 6. Create from the unknown. Allow yourself to experiment, create, and explore without attachment to the outcome. Right brain intelligence flourishes in spaces of uncertainty and discovery. A new era of awakening. We are standing at the threshold of a new evolutionary leap in human intelligence. This is not just about becoming smarter, it is about becoming more connected, more aware, and more aligned with the deeper truths of existence. It is about moving beyond fear-based, scarcity-driven thinking and stepping into a higher state of consciousness, where we operate from intuition, wisdom, and limitless creativity. The journey does not end here. The awakening of the right brain is just the beginning of an even greater transformation. If you feel called to explore these ideas further, to expand your consciousness and tap into the limitless intelligence within you, then this is your moment. Join the movement of awakened minds. Practice these principles daily. Help spread this knowledge so that more people can step into their highest potential. And most importantly, trust the intelligence that is already within you. The right brain is not something you need to develop, it is something you need to remember. If this journey has inspired you, be sure to support our channel, Practical Philosophy. Subscribe, comment, and share this video with others who are seeking higher awareness. Together, we are building a new reality, one that is driven by wisdom, connection, and infinite possibility. Subscribe now and be part of the awakening.